Alright, I gotta get this sent out to numerous sources. Let's see. Link and chat. 335. I feel like that went down. Just lose a lot of followers. I did. I lost like 5. A dog. That's a lot of subs to go down like right away. I'm going to assume it was bots. So I was talking with some folks. Yo, Kaze, what's up? I was just about to mention we were just chatting about doing Dead by Daylight sometime soon. Send this. Yeah, I mean that's definitely gonna be a good time. Meanwhile, Sherlock Holmes, Jack the Ripper. I really hope I can finish it up tonight. And that it actually does finish, because I have had that issue before. It's where I ran into a glitch the first time I finished this game, where it did not actually finish. I double checked I had the last puzzle right and everything, and it would not finish the game. So, hoping that does not happen. Fuck. So much. Get to the end of the game and it just don't finish. Here, many places to post, and it doesn't do anything. Oh wow, I was the last person to post here too. Alright, and Twitter. Doesn't bring me enough anything really. I believe the last thing that I managed was to forget I forgot stream labels again too. The last thing I managed to do was to solve a murder. Right? Oh, in the middle of it. Like in the midst of things. Here now. In the Jewish area. Okay.
Look at these signs, Watson. We are in the Jewish High Street.
They're gonna say the same thing?
Look at these signs, Watson. We are in the Jewish High Street.
Did it not? Isamalovich.
Look at these signs, Watson. We are in the
Another
Jewish
one.
High Street.
He just does that every single time. Yo, Lori, what's up? Where were we supposed to go? I think this way. Because it's too... Spikes or something? No? Alright. Where the closer is. Stairs.
I have no reason to go that way.
Shut up, they're open stairs. I got every reason to go that way.
Look at these signs, Watson. We are in the Jewish High Street.
Yes. We have said that numerous times now. And there's plenty of times for it to be said, apparently. Hold up. Let's find the entrance where the piece of the victim's apron and mysterious chalk message were found. Which I don't remember what that is. I just remember that I can drift. It's Tokyo drift out here. Woo! Drift in Sherlock. Is there anything I can interact with out this way?
I have no reason to go that way.
No reason to go that way. Alright, let's check the docks again, I guess. The murder of Edo's. 2:20 a.m. Piece of bloody apron was found in the entrance hall leading to the stairs of 108, 119 Wentworth Road. Model. 132, 143. 108, 119. Here we are.
There's the spot where the apron and the message were found by PC Long. Now, let's recreate the scene. Remember, Watson, it was
let's
raining
recreate
that
the
night.
scene.
Find me something with which to mimic raindrops hitting this wall while I write something with my chalk.
Great.
The Jews are not the men that will be blamed for nothing. But what does it mean?
What do you mean? What does it mean? I have to
Have
go.
you found something for us to pour water from, Watson?
Find a container and some water. Let me remind you that it's nighttime and the street is deserted, Holmes.
I apparently need 5 matches and a lantern.
An old wooden pole. A merchant probably threw it out.
There's something over here.
That may come in handy. Who knows?
It's in the box. I can flip the box. Can't jump, so I don't know what the box did. Oh, okay, cool.
A watering can. That's what I need. But I
Can't
can't reach it.
Items. I need more. Yeah.
That may come in handy.
There we
Who
go.
knows?
That's the rope for tying stuff together. Lid boxes, get watering cans. You got this, Watson. Now, where do I get water? Nah, that's not it. Oh. Okay. Third person mode. So weird. Well, Holmes, I have a watering can. Plus there's water in this barrel. Alright. Found the thing you wanted.
Something for us to pour water from, Watson?
Yes,
Yes.
I have, Holmes.
Huh?
If this message were written by the killer, then it would have been lying in this entrance for up to 35 minutes before being discovered. Let's find out in what state it must have been. This message could not have been
horribly
the entire
accurate.
night in the rain. During the investigations
Not
carried out
wonderfully
on the night
accurate.
of the double murder, PC Hulse inspected the entrances of this street around 2:20 a.m. and confirmed to have seen nothing out of the ordinary.
I'd have to
At
say that Jeremy Brett is one of my
2:55
favorite Sherlocks.
35 minutes later, PC Long found Catherine
This is not
Eddowes'
Jeremy
piece of
Brett, but
apron
he is
and a
vaguely based
message
on
in
him.
chalk. This message would not have withstood a whole night in the rain, as had I continued to water it for a little longer, I would certainly have erased it. It was written, therefore, at the moment when the piece of apron was dumped. This substantiates PC Hulse's statement, which stated he had seen neither of these during his rounds.
Oh no.
After its discovery, it was guarded and protected from the rain, which was subsiding, which explains why it was still legible when it was erased at 5:30. My dear Watson, when you met PC Smith on his rounds in the street, where was he? On the pavement or
text,
in the
so much
middle of the
listening.
road?
In the middle of the road, Holmes, without a shadow of a doubt.
Good. You will go down the street
Also,
with
these
your
3D
lantern as
models.
if you were a policeman on patrol, using Smith's position as a guide.
Mhm.
As soon as you see the entrance where I used the watering can, tell me if you see anything.
He's
No, you aren't in the right spot with the lamp, Watson. No, you aren't in the right spot with the lamp, Watson.
There, Holmes. From here, I can see something written.
Can you read it?
No.
Do you see the white rag, Watson?
I see something on the ground, but I'm not sure if it's what you were talking about.
oh my.
PC Long, who found the piece of apron, was examining the interior of the entrances.
I do recommend them on the
He
writing
would
notes.
have
This is very
predicted that
much
this piece of material would be
Sherlock.
discovered on the very night of the murder by a policeman on patrol.
like it
What
seems
are you
wordy
trying to
for a
get at,
game,
Holmes?
Let's look at this message on the wall, Watson.
but as
The
a
Jews are not the men
a
who
modern
thought they were
adaptation
blamed for
of
nothing.
Sherlock writing.
In other words, the Jews were possibly
Pretty spot
blamed
on.
for nothing, but that will no longer be the case. Reading this message naturally begs one question. What would that be, Watson?
Would that be?
Indeed, Watson, why? For what reason would one have the right to blame the Jews in the future? Remember, Lestrade was killed near a club for socialist Jews, Edaus not far from a synagogue and the Imperial Club, and finally, this piece of apron dropped here. This building is occupied by
Someone is
Jewish
trying to get them
families.
blamed.
The killer really did go out of his way to incriminate the Jews living in the area.
It's a bit obvious, Holmes.
Yes, but with the rumors, Watson, the author of this message would have received a response to his strategy.
You are right, Holmes.
You're saying he
So
hasn't?
perhaps it's a good thing this message was erased.
Whoever took the decision to do this is a man of great wisdom and courage. Let's return to Baker Street, Watson. I have some pipes to smoke to help me think more clearly.
A good old walk.
Let's go back to Baker Street. Home, sweet home.
Makes me do it this time? Usually it just pops to
I
this
had
scene.
nightmares all night, Holmes. As for you, I bet you didn't get a wink of sleep, did you? It's this chalk message business, isn't it?
Sherlock not sleeping is not because he's
Among
disturbed.
other things.
It's just spending
And this
time
lunatic
thinking.
is still running free. If only we knew what he looked like.
But we do know, Watson. We have a fairly accurate description.
I must have missed an episode of your adventures, Holmes. Not only
Yeah,
have
to
I
piece
heard
stuff
you
together.
discredit the value of our eyewitnesses, but the few descriptions we do have don't seem to correspond.
An inaccurate account can regain its value if we
That
can
lip
discover
syncing is
why
so
and what extent
bad.
the truth must be rewritten. We've learned a great many things
Oh, so
tonight,
off.
and I'm able to tell you what our man looks like.
Really?
And you.
Yes, and we're going to need a few things, Watson. Find me 3 mannequins, my worker's costume, my 3 full wigs, one of your worn garments. Yes, that can be used for the workman's outfit, and one of your old suits. Oh, and my deer stalker, the one I never wear, but everyone seems to think I wear day and night.
Boom, reference to what everybody thinks Sherlock looks like. This is true. Walker, mannequin. Big. In this drawer is waste of my time. I'm also gonna get copyright stricken for this music once again.
A
Please
wig?
don't.
This will come in handy.
He's picked up 2 other wigs and you finally say
Place our
something.
mannequins here, Watson.
Thanks. And this is copywritten music. I've gotten hit twice already for it. So it's just gonna be remembering to check nearly immediately. Okay, yes. Thank you. There's another mannequin around here somewhere. There's gotta be. I didn't see one. There. There we go. Gotcha. I think that's everything.
So, As for one of the murders, we have no witnesses whatsoever. As for the 3 other, we have at least one person who claims to have seen the victims talking to a man a few minutes before their death. Do you remember whom these would be, Watson?
Oh, man. Here's the murderer. So lighted comb. It's rumors stricken in the Imperial Club. Stone's throw from Mitre Square. 2 recent murders. Yes, that night, 3 members of the club were talking to a man on that very spot, standing a few minutes before the body was found at the end of the passage. Afraid that won't be possible as the police heard evidence of these men. Come on, it's in here somewhere, isn't it? Who's documenting as proof? Something I got to the documents for. I believe there's description in here, isn't there? Someone was right, but those are not. Also, these textures are now messed up. You can easily tell if they're right because it doesn't show you. Here's key, cardamom, illness, corpse dealers, journalists, spelling error, and they really poured their heart and soul into this game. I like their puzzles though, they made good puzzle. Catherine Eddowes. These documents proof. I'm gonna brute force your way into that. Use this proof. That one's good. Use this proof. He's wrong. Cardamom. Vain of existence, murder in Whitechapel, niece of the captain. Crime scene, reenactment. Big. Oh. Murder of a chap. Man. Isn't. I mean. I think it's testimony. Friends, Whitechapel artist. Maybe this. Nope. Testimony. Who as well. Jeez. Somebody saw it, right? Richardson's testimony. Right, because he didn't actually see it. Innocent. Following my through the statements on paper. Take the Humphreys. Who else saw? The old Schwartz. Definitely not that either. Walesby. Spectre Aberline. Turners. No, Jack the Ripper. We speak to anybody else that Slaughterhouse, that's not it. Would be statement. What? No. Would be. Dear boss. King's tail. Would Eight. Seller. Info. The Great Worry. This cat. Assman. Well, now I'm just lost. Maybe the next one. Look for the actual description in here too. Point out about 3 inches taller than the woman, who is 5 feet tall, no more. So been 35 years old, 5'7", light complexion and fair mustache, loose dark gray jacket and gray cap.
There is an error, Watson. Let's reread Abraham's testimony.
Or
Indeed, Watson, that's the right size for Abraham's mannequin. The account given by Mr. Solomonovich's friend is incorrect in at least one point. The first Joseph said that the man was at least 5 foot 7 inches tall. The second Joseph said he was 3 inches taller than the victim, whom we know was 5 feet tall, which would suggest a height of 5 foot 3 inches. Don't forget that it was this second Joseph who attracted his friend's attention towards the couple on the other side of the road. We can assume he got a very good look at them.
a very good look at them. And he said they were 30. There. Fair mustache. Gray cat.
Perfect, Watson.
Yay! Wearing a short black outfit, a small felt cap, in a dark color, and a wig. Seemed to be the respectable type, carrying a packet in his hand. Okay, that's kind of important. So short black outfit, small felt hat. Why not? Okay, those are kind of my two options on that one. Oh, jeez. Alright. Looked like I only saw him from behind, really. Completely lost that. Short black outfit, small felt hat, cap, color, white collar. Seemed to be a respectable type, carrying a pack in his hand. I would say he was barely 30 years old, or even less. Say 28 or even less, 26 years old. 5'8". Small dark brown mustache. So 28 and 5'8". Could be anyone. Oh, I went past it. Is that not the dark brown? Maybe that was wrong. Here's Stalker. Something about these is wrong. Mess with me. 26. Oh. We all saw this man. Maybe.
There we are. Magnificent.
Now I gotta discover what that last description is, which could even be in the documents. This man. Star East London from the courts. Testimony of a Kadosh. Somebody testified about seeing them, didn't they? Elon. Identified the body. Whoa, what was that? Some dark thing flew in front of my monitor. It buzzed off, or it's a spider I'll never see again. There we go. That's the last one. Alright, so clothing, brown deerstalker hat, dark coat, dark hair, and mustache. Like a foreigner. 40. A little taller than the woman whom he was discussing, approximately 5 foot. So 5'3", 40, and
Bravo, Watson. There are our 3 witnesses. As for young P.C. Smith's account, he must have been mistaken about this person's real height. It is only an inch or 2 after all, and we can attribute the same height as the other 2. There we are. Magnificent.
Now that I have found
Bravo, Watson. Our mannequins have been recreated based on the correct accounts. Now, Watson, let's see in what ways these statements differ and how the witnesses could have been mistaken. Let's look at these wigs and moustaches. Let's start by taking the first Joseph's testimony, who saw the man head-on in a well-lit spot and in which he noted fair hair. Now, let's consider the same person, but in the lighting and angle of the other 2 witnesses, in the darkness of night, with poor artificial lighting from above. Put out the light, Watson.
Light, Watson. Oh.
Thus, poor lighting and a backlit subject can affect our perception of shades and colors. The wigs from Abraham's mannequin took on the same color as the other 2. The 3 testimonies, therefore, don't contradict one another, and we can apply the same facial hair to all 3 mannequins. Turn on the light, Watson.
Turn on the light, Watson. So it's all light wigs. Blonde man.
Yes, I have, Holmes.
Well done, Watson. With regards to the murderer's hair, the 3 witnesses should agree on Abraham's testimony. As Joseph is the only one who saw our man in full light, his hair must therefore be fair. You see, Watson, it is hard to draw objective conclusions when one is an eyewitness to an event. This leads us to reconsider the various statements regarding the supposed age of the man. Even if you are face to face with someone in full light and for a period of several hours, to what extent can you determine their exact age? And even more so if you observe them for only a few seconds and or from behind. We must allow some flexibility when considering our witnesses' statements, but always scientific flexibility.
So am I supposed to do more here?
Now that we have fully considered the witness accounts, let's see to what extent they agree. If we apply the range of error for each of our dummies, we can deduce the age of our murderer as precisely as possible.
Precisely as possible. $25, $35. Took 3 years. It's 1, 2, 3. Goodness. $29.
Don't forget that, according to Abraham, the man was seen face on from a few feet away by the first Joseph, who shouldn't be out by more than a few years. For Abraham's mannequin, we should allow a margin of 3 to 5 years.
So... Gray doesn't really help me. Puzzle is very nondescript. Why are there 3 possible options? Why? I don't get it. Ready? Ready? I mean, even if I just could get a clue exactly you wanted, considering it says a tolerance of 3 to 5 years, and here we have this span of 10. Which is not very helpful at all. Going that way.
There we are. Magnificent.
Magnificent. Don't go 3 years up, 3 years down, 5 years up, 5 years down, in the in-between. So then 7 to 10. 1636. Go 17, 35, 18, 34, and 19, 33.
Perfect, Watson.
Perfect. And so that's the 10-year difference. 7-year difference, and then all the in-betweens. Why do I click it up to 49?
Excellent. Now, on to the next step.
Now that puzzle
Yes,
makes a lot more sense.
Now that we have fully considered the witness
Now that I have it,
let's see
Holmes.
to what extent they agree. If we apply the range of error for each of our dummies, we can deduce the age of our murderer as precisely as possible.
I mean, yeah, 33 is about the common denominator.
Perfect, Watson. Within a margin of 1 year, Watson, the age of our murderer is 33
Hooray.
years.
But the man described by Smith was dressed respectably, whereas the other 2 were poorly dressed.
Indeed, but Whitechapel's respectively could quite easily describe the Sunday bests that all lower-class men own.
Oh my.
Now, let's place ourselves in the shoes of Liz Stride's killer. He has just slain his victim and sees Louis Diemschutz discover her body. Our killer is at great risk if he stays in the area. He therefore gets away from this spot. But he wants to kill again. However, he might have been spotted in the area before having committed the murder by a constable on his round, perhaps, who managed to get his description. What do you think the killer will do?
let's see. The go home and
Go back
change.
home or to a safe location, change his clothes and leave again in search of another victim.
Yes.
It's the only possible explanation, Watson. The man returned to the safety of his lodgings and then decided to go out again with new clothes and repeat his sinister nocturnal work. That's how the discrepancies between the witnesses with regards to clothing can be explained.
What a cold-blooded animal.
And what determination! Powerful motives are pushing this man. Thus, we can conclude that the respectable man with the package may very well have been seen by the two Josephs.
Even if it is just a mannequin, it's giving me goosebumps. But have we really made any
Could you
progress,
imagine
Holmes?
being so
I mean, there
weak?
must be thousands of men in
Even if it
Whitechapel
is just a
who match
mannequin,
this
it's giving me
description, wouldn't you
goosebumps.
say?
You're right, Watson.
Seriously?
We've worked on who, now let's work on where. We need a map
It's a
of
mannequin.
Whitechapel. And please, also, find me a pencil, 2 compasses, one of which can draw ellipses.
Which can draw ellipses. There we go. The map?
I am in need of something.
I'm in need of something.
First of all, let's place our 4 murders on this map, as well as the spot where the graffito appeared and the piece of apron was dropped.
Whitechapel, Duffield's Yard, Woolston, Hanbury, Woods Row. What we got here? Amy Chapman. Chapman was murdered at Woods Row. That was Polly Nichols. Chapman was married Hanbury. This stride. There's a lie. This stride was there. Those was Winston Street, United Square. This was here. Fito.
Perfect, Watson. Let's connect each crime scene to the one out of the others that is the furthest.
And out of the others, that is the furthest. Furthest from here is Polly Nichols. Wee.
You see, Watson, the murders aren't grouped together, but seem to be spread out like cardinal points around a central zone. The killer obviously wanted to
central
avoid
zone.
returning to the previous scenes of his crimes, assuming that they would be more closely watched, or that he could be recognized.
So, the killer lives at the center of this cross.
In the vicinity, most certainly, but how near? We cannot afford to get it wrong. If you concentrate, Watson, you will notice that the murders are roughly equidistant from the intersection point of the diagonals. Let's focus on the night of the double
that's
murder.
something.
Remember, Watson, it took us 20 minutes to get from Dutfield's Yard to Mitre Square. Let's draw a line
it
from
is,
one to
here.
the other. Perfect.
Oh.
We didn't make the trip as the crow flies, but that would not harm our estimate. Let's suppose the killer left Dutfield's Yard at 1 a.m. and arrived in Mitre Square at 1:35 a.m. when he was seen by the two Josephs. If he took 5 minutes to change his clothes, that leaves a range of 10 minutes to determine where this man's lodgings are. We must determine the area in which one can go from Dutfield's Yard to Mitre Square in less than half an hour. To do this, let's draw an ellipsis. The length between Dutfield's Yard and Mitre Square corresponds to 20 minutes. By adding half, we get a distance of 30 minutes. By taking the 2 right segments, each starting from the
that's
2
the thing.
murder scenes, and which the sum of the lengths makes 30 minutes, we get our ellipses.
This one? This one? Oh, hey. How do I undo? in the middle. Okay. Not enough in the middle. I am very bad at this. Right? No? Come on? I hate how precise it has to be. Very. It's not good enough. Give me my answer. Not it either. Can't make another one. Straight lines were so much easier. Stop it. I can. That is pretty close. That is pretty close. Guess it needs to be slightly shorter. Why does it do this? Is that not it? Is that not it? Give me my compass. Again. Trace an ellipse in which we can go from Dutfield's yard to Mitre Square in less than half an hour. Oh, okay. Need it to be long as the distance. About like that. Not it? No, that's not the ellipse. It's as wide as the line. All I can really say. Doing it until it gives it. Come on, is this not... Is this not the thing you ask? So many of them. You can tell that it's half an hour. Why exactly? What is the thing that makes it so? That's too far to the right. Come on, it's like near perfect in the middle of both of them. How can that not be it? How can that not be it? It's like perfect. Just about perfect. I think I see it though. You need to go through this ring on both of them. Game. Game. I need you. I need you, game. Stop this. Alright. This is horrible. Is the middle of this line. Did I not? Can't pick up this one. Can't pick up this one. I can just pick up this one. This is the solution. I can't get past it. I did the right thing, game. More how perfect do I need to be? It's not good enough for you? It's apparently not good enough. Oh. Come on. Is this not? I love puzzles, but this game is being a little too much. That is the circle. It goes through both locations. That is the 30 minutes. There to there. I don't know how much more perfect I can make it. A little more to the right. As beautiful as this piece is, do for a little more. How much more could you want? Perfect in this. It can't be much more than this. Maybe there's another can explain it better. Right. Oops, the filter on your square, then click on the place at the place with the graffiti and move the cursor to reach the miter square, and finally the area with the two ellipses and draw. Yes. It's saying something here. Here. You know, if you could see the image I'm looking at, see that it goes like way out here. Now let's eat the. All those are correct. Even having been on going out to the middle. There, this ellipse definitely encompasses both locations. Oh. You click on a pencil on a woman's head, you will decide what you want in the line. Yeah, and it puts you out into your square. It goes through them. That is exactly it. It can't be any more than that. Game. Game, you're asking me things. Is it because it gets the other one? That looks like it should be fine. That looks like it should be fine. I'm just completely lost. Is getting me up. I need to see something because this is just driving me nuts now. Yeah, it's all boost and street stuff. Yep, here's all this. The mannequins are already done. Good. I don't get it. I always skip this part. In the middle of the green line. Here. Right? All the way out. To the left. Slightly more. To the left. Slightly more. more. That's it. That does the thing. Creates an ellipse in which you can go from Duffield's Yard to Mitre Square in less than half an hour. Ta-da! What if I saved backed up? Right. Let's exit. OBS tweaked out there for a second. Let's exit and then let's go back in. I gotta make sure OBS is picking it up. It's not. Why would it be? There it is. There it is. Resume. In here. Do I have just like a fatal bug or something? That's it. That is the thing I'm supposed to do. Seriously, I cannot. Ones look like that. I think kind of the issue, it might even be the widescreen mode, because these ones show like they're able to get a good circle around it. It covers both of them, and it does not go over this cross here. And not even on the side. I don't know. I don't know what they want from me. Can't delete any of this crap. It's alright. Aim, subtitle, sound. Widescreen off. It'd be weird, but I have seen. Nope. Successfully does that. I don't get it. I do not get it. This is not how it's supposed to work. This is not what's supposed to happen. Great. Drawing the ellipses might just not work. That's fine. that's perfectly fine. I just gotta do it until it takes it. Come on. One of these is gonna eventually. Let me pick up the metal compass. There's nothing else in the room. Oh, hi, Holmes.
Well, we are still missing certain information in order to finish this investigation, Watson.
Is it? Wants to accuse someone that lives on Goldstone Street. Support cell with the Jewish. Support cell with the Jews. Searched HAP. I'm looking for money, objects of value, looking for something. The victim stole from him. Setting up a collects trophies as a fetishist is poor. Whoa, hold on. There goes on. I need to offer a gift to each of his victims before killing them. He's holding an envelope. Had her bonnet in her hand and was ready to exercise. Holding a packet of pastilles. A thimble in her hand. Offered each a gift. Diverted the attentions. In the same way, must have been accompanied, extorted, received in the same way. It's the same man who killed all of them as an accomplice. The same. It's the same. This is great physical force. Is it corpulent men? Is it tall men? This is great physical force. Alright, there's nothing else for these. All fine and dandy.
There is nothing more to do here.
Nothing more to do here. All these were green. Nothing is red. Except for these things that there's not enough information. It's in this room. This looks weird without widescreen mode. Kind of hoping that might be a part of the issue. It's ever so slightly different. But when you're playing it, or even maybe watching it, I don't know, it feels like it makes a huge difference. No. 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 Draw in circles until something happens. So fun. Riveting gameplay, this. Like an exact spot I'm supposed to be on. there. Incredibly frustrating. It's so ridiculous. Alright. I'm gonna look it up again and see if I can't find anything, because this is getting out of hand. Sherlock Holmes v. Jack the Ripper. Ellipse bug. Steam community cannot get the ellipse just right. I've been trying for over 30 minutes. Got desperate enough to use YouTube, but even then, I still can't make it work. Dropbox user content map by JPEG. No, 404. How do I... Silly finicky. Never mind, I got past it. Need to make the yellow ellipses much bigger for some reason. Anybody else stuck on this? Check this walkthrough and see the first post. Oink. Thanks for this. I thought the game had bugged. A lot of people had difficulty with this. I wish I could help, but I guess I'm the lucky one who was able to get through playing the Xbox version, so they tweaked the controls to make it easier on the controller, maybe. It bigger for some reason. Approximately the center. I mean, how bigger you want to go? You bigger. I mean, the distance from the middle of the line plus half again the distance. Therefore, the ellipse has to be about half the distance from the middle of the line, larger than the distance of the endpoints. It sounds complicated when explained. I aim for several streets wider than the wider square industrial Paris locations. Thanks for the tip. So, several streets wider? This? And half again. So like this?
There we are, Watson. Our killer lives in this area.
It's still rather a vast area, Holmes.
Yes, indeed. And our goal is to reduce this area as much as we can. We must consider the fact that the murder at Mitre Square was committed under a certain amount of pressure, given that the killer knew he was wanted for the acts he committed not long before. We can assume that he had to do it in a safe zone, that is, an area not far from where he lives. This is especially true of an act such as the graffiti he carried out after 2 murders. Let's trace a circle around this point, with the distance separating it from Mitre Square as the radius. This will enable us to determine our killer's safe zone.
Safe zone. Why is just crawling on my mind?
Our killer must surely live inside this circle. Now, let's intersect it with ellipses that we previously determined.
How do I...
There we are, Watson. The Aldgate district.
There we go, Watson. The Aldgate district.
So that they can concentrate their
Alright, that was crazy.
Of Whitechapel.
It is probably already crawling with inspectors, Watson.
And in one after reading that other stuff, so
if they were willing to listen to what we had to say. Let's focus instead on understanding
Yeah.
the killer's modus operandi. We know our murderer preys on prostitutes who are penniless, weak, sick, or alcoholic, that he distracts them the moment before killing them, and that he left an anonymous message inciting anti-Semitic hatred at the entrance of a building occupied
Not
by Jews.
anti-Semitic.
How would you describe this man?
What a
Angry?
coward.
Indeed, he is a person of great cowardice. Let's look at his murders and in particular the depredations on the corpses, putting aside that of Liz Stride because on that occasion his work was left unfinished. If we recall
That's
the
true.
observations made on the
Oh,
victims,
those real
and the
photos.
parts that were mutilated or damaged on each of the bodies, without
Those
forgetting the
real
fact that he
photos, because
also
these
removed
real
one or
murders
more
really
organs.
happened with all this
We
real
ascertain that our
information.
killer evolves during the course of the murders, cowardly and still evolving.
Cowardly.
And yet, look at the location of our first murder, that of Polly Nichols in Bucks Row. It is the most distant from the area our killer would appear to live. Perhaps this murder was preceded by another within the killer's area. I believe a cowardly killer would commit his first murder in an area close to his home in order to find refuge as quickly as possible on carrying out the act.
Holmes, an idea just occurred to me that fills me with dread. This evolution of which you speak.
He will pursue his next victim as long as the conditions permit him to continue killing Watson.
But how could one go even further in this horror? Look at what he did to that woman, Catherine Eddowes.
In order to avoid having to answer that question, we must act with haste and planning. Watson, I suggest you inform yourself on the mutilations sustained by the victims. We played
Yeah, that
with the
sounds
idea
great.
that this could be an act of vengeance against prostitutes. If the mutilations correspond to areas affected by a specific pathology, perhaps the killer wanted to give an eye for an affliction he felt the prostitutes he knew were responsible for.
And this trail leading to Dr. Tumblety Holmes?
I also have a few things to look into in the meantime. I still have a primary witness to track down,
Oh,
not
like
to mention old
Tumblety-
trails I've yet to pursue. See you soon, Watson. When we
believe
first
Tumblety
spoke
falls
about
in
the
that
Bucks
area.
Row murder with Watson, he was reading a newspaper, The Star, dated September 1st, 1888, I believe, which mentioned similar murders in the preceding months. I have no chance of finding the police reports, but perhaps I could find some information at the Central News Agency. I must go
Let's
there
go
at
there
once.
once.
Afterwards, I'll go back to see Abraham, the owner of the pet shop in Whitechapel. The second Joseph's statement would lead me to believe that he may know the man spotted on the corner of Church Passage that night. If
Great.
that's the case, I must find this witness so I can question him.
So I must go to the news. Then Colgate. Go, Fleet Street.
Ah, Bulling is there. It won't hurt just this once.
Hey, jerk.
Hello, Mr. Bulling. So, did your colleague tell you about the tip?
What tip?
Ah,
What
I see.
tip?
I gave him an explosive tip and he went without you? Oh, that's not very sporting on his part. No doubt he took all of the credit for his discovery.
Besides these
winding me
top
up,
hats. And just the
I'm
scene there.
showboating something to make him believe me.
I should believe something to make him believe me. I got nothing. Have any documents or? This is the only thing I can speak to in this room. I have nothing but matches.
What do you want?
What do you want?
I'm showbulling something to make him believe me.
Oh, I do have something. Here we go.
What do you want?
I'm not winding you up. The proof is that he gave me this advance on the debt.
Yay!
Traitor.
What?
He owes me if I find him.
Before I leave, can you do me a favor?
Heck, tell me.
I'm looking for some reliable info on the murders committed in Whitechapel in the months before Polly Nichols' attack.
Reliable? Ha! You really think you'll find that here? Fine. I'll be honest with you. We
Well,
have
anything
folders that
before,
group the
like,
dispatches
the
from the current
60s
year into
seems just
categories.
wild.
In the police law category, you'll find the transcripts from the trials and investigations that we sell to the newspapers that ask us.
Perfect.
Sadly, I am out of time. I'll leave you to solve it, eh? You're the
they would leave
detective,
just
aren't you?
somebody in this room. Just anybody. That you would leave at all when there's somebody in the office. You just faff about with all your
Dossiers are
stuff.
full of papers in dated envelopes. I can't open them. That would be too obvious. How can I tell which compartment to look in? No categories are indicated.
Categories are indicated.
This compartment was repaired recently.
This compartment was repaired recently. Is there anything to see? No? You describe to me.
An envelope is
There we
torn.
go.
I can tell that this dispatch contains economic information.
Economic information. It's economy.
This compartment was repaired recently.
Poorly at that. That doesn't tell me anything really. Again, I am...
This compartment was repaired
repaired
recently.
recently. There's something else in the room. Plenty else in the room. My dear George, your little brother had some misfortune. The first week of work was very grueling. First, I was given a spot far from the stove. I am very cold in the morning. Next, I have to sort through the dispatches. The most tedious and boring work imaginable. Once the work is done, I must take each envelope to the journalist in question, who won't even deign to look at me. Finally, at the end of my third day, the boss called me to his office and gave me a sermon. It seems I had mixed up the dispatches. I was so worn out that I could hardly protest. Half-heartedly, he gave me a second chance. Now, I'm in a sticky situation. The only helpful note that comes from my colleague, Miss Biltman, charming young woman who is the only one to give me a smile. She helps as much as she can and tries to prompt me regarding which compartment I should put my dispatches, because everyone here knows the order of the sections, but no one has bothered to tell me. Lily has so much compassion that she slides me notes such as politics and society are on the side, sports is underneath economy, personalities is at the end of the row, front page news is the first compartment, etc. And these confidences are almost words of love from her mouth. I don't think that she likes placing the envelopes on the desk at all, because she ends up with some thanks that are very disturbing. I have volunteered for the task, much to everyone's displeasure. Nothing new concerning my landlady, but I managed to pay her for the week, and she consented to me. Don't say anything about my troubles to Mumsy. I don't want to alarm her. Not wanting to lie to her, I have chosen to not write. With warmest regards, your brother, Albert. Stupid fly, go away. Front page news, first compartment, so I'm guessing top left for that one. Sports is underneath economy and personalities at the end of the row. So, bingo. We got front page going here. We got spurts. Where's spurts? Spurts is here, and then we got personalities at the end of the road. It's one of these, honestly. That is everything I got out of that note. Jeez, so much text. Dear Ferland, I'm confirming my presence on Friday evening at the club. It will be with displeasure. It will be with pleasure because I must get my mind off things, falling into a black depression. Just imagine, the new laddie still has favors of that Janet, but she'll end up forgetting him, and giving in to me because I am not lacking in ideas to get rid of suitors. Yesterday, I randomly placed a few inventions in science, politics dispatches. After all, they are always harebrained items. Given that the compartments are on top of one another, it could have easily passed as one of the new lad's errors, and as anticipated, he was called into the boss. As soon as I have the chance, I will show him how, like in the news, everything's in the balance. Looks like halfway. He could easily confuse politics with society section on his right. and this ladder with a with the society section on his right. Okay. Which is its neighbor. What? The loveliness. I don't know how an intelligent girl like Janet and like a swot like him doesn't have much longer to smile. Alrighty. So inventions in science, politics are on top of each other, so those are right over. And like in the news, everything's in balance. Looks like a halfway. Could easily confuse the politics with the society section on his right. And the ladder with economy is its neighbor. I feel like that'll tell me something, but it does not. Oh yeah. Improve the dispatch filing, propose major info. I accept news in brief, minor info down below. Law, accept police law. Thus, in the future, propose also to invert news in brief, which is for the moment up high, and police law, which is actually down low. Furthermore, the weather section is almost always empty. Put it away with news in brief. Weather, which is almost always empty. Well, there's something here that's empty. And this means personalities. Although that could be down there. It's next to what? There. What's next to economy? Politics with society section. That's right. This ladder with economy, which is its neighbor. So I guess that's society. And politics. Police and law is down low, so it's one of these. News and brief and oddities. Like the only other thing on top right. Inventions and sciences is... My goodness. May I misplace inventions and scientists with politics? So that kind of leaves these three. The note and pencil. Thus, in future, propose to also invert news and brief, which is for the moment up high, which is actually down. I feel like that's it. That's just the two more. I could probably just kind of fuss about. Blue envelopes from the dispatch compartment contain confidential facts that must not be discussed in the news. As a reminder, they contain the political personalities, essentially the royal family, and economic issues. These dispatches will be retained only to be diffused when Buckingham Palace or the ministers give us authority. Repair the wood of the news in brief compartment, £1. As to the agency receives numerous dispatches filing system, you know, make appearances too small, particularly the world and society sections, which cover too much area and overflow into the boxes below. Police law and culture respectively. Would you be able to furnish a device in order to keep only one filing cabinet? Waiting response, sir. Please accept best wishes. Alright. I think that's everything. Yeah, the only things left are the doors and the puzzle itself. So, news in brief. It's an end row. Has a lot of blue. There is almost always empty. Ay. The World and Society sections, which cover too much area and overflow into the boxes below. Police, law, and culture, respectively. Could be either of those two ways around. But those being the most full. Here we go.
These envelopes contain dispatches of police and judicial cases. Now, I need to open them discreetly. I must try to unglue the openings.
It is in fact capable in here. Keep it. Chiz.
I need something.
Need something. Uh-huh.
Water.
Water.
There, that will provide me
Fine.
with steam. These envelopes contain dispatches of police and judicial cases. Now, I need to open them discreetly. I must try to unglue the openings.
I am smart.
And it looks like I'm in luck. This envelope contains precious information.
I doed it. Testimony in the Smith affair. Day of inquest, Saturday, April 7th, 1888. Mr. Wine E. Baxter. Winnie? Win. Still Winnie. The East Middlesex Coroner. Held in an inquiry on Saturday, April 7th, at the London Hospital, respecting the death of Emma Elizabeth Smith, aged 45, widow, lately living at 18 George Street, Spitalfields, who it was alleged had been murdered. Chief Inspector West of the H Division of the Police attended for the commissioners of the office. Mrs. Mary Russell, deputy keeper of a common lodging house, stated that she had known the deceased for about 2 years. On the evening of the bank holiday, April the 2nd, she left home at 7 o'clock and returned about 4 or 5 the next morning. In a dreadful state, her face and head were much injured. One of her ears had been nearly torn off. She told the witness that she had been set upon and robbed of all the money. Witness took her to the hospital. When passing along Osborne Street, the deceased pointed out the spot where she was assaulted. She said that there were still 3 men, but she could not describe them. Mr. George Haslip, house surgeon, stated that when the deceased was admitted to the hospital, she had been drinking but was not intoxicated. She was bleeding from her head and ear and had other injuries of a revolting nature. Witness found that she was suffering from a rupture of the perineum, which had been perforated by some blunt instrument used with great force. The deceased, I guess she wasn't deceased at the time, told him that at 1:30 that morning she was passing near Whitechapel Street when she noticed some men coming towards her. She crossed the road to avoid them, but they followed, assaulted her, took all the money she had, and then committed the outrage. She was unable to say what kind of instrument was used, nor was she able to describe her assailants, except that she had one, which was a youth of 19. Death ensued on Wednesday morning, the 4th of April, through peritonitis set up by the injuries. Margaret Hayes, living at the same address as the deceased, deposed to seeing Mrs. Smith in company of a man at the corner of Parent Street and Burdett Road. The man was dressed in a dark suit, wore a white silk handkerchief round his neck, and was of a medium height, but witness did not think she could identify him. Chief Inspector West, H Division, stated that he had no official information on the subject, and was only aware of the case through the daily papers. He had questioned the constables on the beat, but none of them appeared to know anything about the matter. The coroner said that from the medical evidence, which must be true, it was clear that the woman had been barbarously murdered. It was impossible to imagine a more brutal and dastardly assault, and he thought by the ends of the justice would be better met by the jury recording their verdict at once and by adjourning to some future date in the hope of having more evidence brought before them. The jury returned a verdict of willful murder against some person or persons unknown. Police are making every possible inquiry into the case. Up to yesterday, the 8th of April, had not any clue as to the persons who committed the outrage. Oh great. Another one. Hold on, why did you get water? Testimony in the Tabram case. Last day of the inquest, Thursday, August 23rd, 1888. Yesterday afternoon, 23rd of August, Mr. George Collier, the deputy coroner, Southeast Middlesex, resumed inquiry into the Working Lads Institution, Whitechapel, into the circumstances attending the death of Martha Turner, or Tabram, a hawk, lately living at 4 Star Place, Star Street, Commercial Road East, who was discovered early in the morning of Tuesday the 7th. Inst would be? Lying dead on the first floor landing of some model dwellings known as the George Yard Buildings, Commercial Street, Spitalfields. When found, the woman presented a shocking appearance, there being 39 stab wounds on the body, some of them apparently having been inflicted with a bayonet. Alfred George Crow, cab driver, 35, George Yard Buildings, deposed that he got home at 3:30 on Tuesday morning. When he was passing the first floor landing, he saw a body laying on the ground. He took no notice, as he was accustomed to seeing people lying about. He did not then know whether the person was alive or dead. He got up at 9:30, and when he went down the staircase, the body was not there. Witness heard no noise while in bed. Police Constable Thomas Barrett, 226H, said that the last witness called his attention the body of the deceased. He sent for a doctor who pronounced life extinct. Dr. T.R. Killeen of 68 Brick Lane said that he was called to the deceased and found her dead. She had 39 stab wounds on the body. She had been dead some 3 hours. Her age was about 36, and the body was very well nourished. Witnesses had since made a post-mortem examination of the body. The left lung was penetrated in 5 places, and the right lung was penetrated in 2 places. The heart was penetrated in 1 place, and that would be sufficient to cause death. The liver was penetrated in 5 places, the spleen was penetrated in 2 places, the stomach was penetrated in 6 places. Witnesses did not think all the wounds were inflicted with the same instrument. The wounds generally might have been inflicted with a knife, but such an instrument could not have inflicted one of the wounds, which went through the chest bone. His opinion was that of the wounds was inflicted by some kind of dagger, and that all of them were caused during life. Henry Samuel Tabram, 6 River Terrace, East Greenwich, husband of the deceased woman, said he last saw her alive about 18 months ago in the Whitechapel Road. They had been separated for 13 years. Owing to her drinking habits, she obtained a warrant of arrest on him for some part of the time the witness allowed her a week, but in consequence of her annoyance, he stopped this allowance 10 years ago, since which time he had made it half a crown a week, as he found she was living with a man. Henry Turner, a carpenter staying at the Working Men's Home, Commercial Street, Spitalfields, stated that he had been living with the woman Tabram as his wife for about 9 years. 2 or 3 weeks previously to this occurrence, he ceased to do so. He had left her on 2 or 3 occasions in consequence of her drinking habits, but they had come together again. He last saw her alive on Saturday, the 4th inst. Still don't really have any idea of that one. In Leadenhall Street. He then gave her 1S 6D to get some stock. She had money, she spent it on drink. While living with the witness, deceased's usual time for coming home was about 11 o'clock. He knew she had no regular companion, and he did not know that she walked the streets. As a rule, he was, he said, a man of sober habits, and when the deceased was sober, they usually got on well together. Miss Mary Bousfield, wife of a woodcutter residing at 4 Star Place, Commercial Road, knew the deceased by the name of Turner. She was formerly a lodger in her house, but the man, Turner, deceased, would rather have a glass of ale than a cup of tea. But she was not a woman who got continually drunk. She never brought home any companions with her. She left without giving notice and owed 2 weeks' rent. Mary Ann Connolly. Shirley Pole. It was at the suggestion of Inspector Reed, as cautioned in the usual manner before being sworn, stated she had been for the last 2 nights living at a lodging house in Dorset Street, Spitalfields. Witness was a single woman. She had known the woman Tabram for about 4 or 5 months. She knew her by the name of Emma. She was last saw her alive on a bank holiday night, when Witness was with her about 3/4 of an hour, and they separated at 11:45. Witness was with Tabram and 2 soldiers, 1 private and 1 corporal. She did not know what regiment they belonged to, but they had white bands round their caps. After they separated, Tabram went away with the private, and Witness accompanied the corporal up Angel Alley. There was no quarreling between any of them. Witness had been to the barracks to identify the soldiers, and the 2 men she picked out, to the best of her belief, the men she and Tabram were with. The men at the Wellington barracks were paraded before Witness. One of the men picked out by the Witness turned out not to be a corporal, but he had stripes on his arm. Detective Inspector Reed made a statement of the efforts made by the police to discover the perpetrator of the murder. Several persons had stated that they saw the deceased woman on the previous Sunday with the corporal, but when all the corporals and privates at the Tower and Wellington barracks were paraded before them, they failed to identify the man. The military authorities afforded every facility to the police. Shirley Pole picked out 2 men belonging to the Coldstream Guards at the Wellington barracks. One of the men had 3 good conduct stripes, and he was proved beyond a doubt to have been with his wife from 8 o'clock on Monday night until 6 o'clock the following morning. The other man was also proved to have been in the barracks at 5 minutes past 10 on bank holiday night. The police would be pleased if anyone would give them information of having seen anyone with the deceased on the night of bank holiday. The coroner, in summing up, that crime was of the most brutal that occurred for some years. For a poor defenseless woman to be outraged and stabbed in the manner which this woman was, almost beyond belief. They could only come to one conclusion, that was that the deceased was brutally and cruelly murdered. The jury returned a verdict of willful murder against some persons known. What help is the jury in this case?
The information excludes the murder of the first woman, Miss Smith. Jack the Ripper can't be the author of that crime. On the other hand, there are enough similarities to suggest he may be the killer of Martha Tabram. I must go to the pet shop.
The skibbity stabbies.
I must go to the pet shop.
Where's the pet shop? Oh. Whitechapel pet shop. He stabbed her a lot.
I must go to the pet shop.
Yes, thank you,
Closed
Holmes.
until further notice. Abraham isn't there. No luck.
What about his beep beep?
Beep beep.
Good evening.
Oh, good evening,
Beep
sir.
beep. Seriously.
Do you know why Mr. Solomonovich's shop
would
is
beep beep
closed?
even be a
No, I
noise?
don't. Perhaps his cousin, the cobbler, knows. But I believe the police came to take his animals. I think that might have something to do with it.
When was this?
During
You
the day.
think?
The kids you were with the other day were there, they told me. They just came by to ask for some cat's meat. They didn't have any money, but I gave them some anyway. Ah,
Is something wrong?
it's just that there was a little girl with them, the same age as mine.
Hmm.
My little girl who went away with her mother, with the angels into the sky.
Dr. Watson told me about your loss. Please accept my condolences. Would you like to talk about it? How did it happen?
The illness.
These times what
my
seems so
poor little girl
civilized
was
are
in
most
agony,
assuredly not.
And her face and body were ravaged by the disease.
Her face.
Yes, she looked like a ghost.
What illness was it?
Dr. Gibbons tried to explain when I
Hmm.
took my little girl to see him, but I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I'm sure that he was trying to insinuate it was my fault. I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I understand.
That's
Farewell. Let's go and see Dr. Gibbons.
Let's go and see Dr. Gibbons. We've only seen him with Dr. Watson. Open door. Excuse me, is your name Gibbons?
Hello, Doctor. Do you remember me? I'm Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Watson's friend.
Oh, yes. Excuse the mess,
remember.
but I am doing a bit of tidying.
I have come to see you about a Mr. Hardyman, a cat food seller by trade who recently lost his daughter and wife.
Yes, I know him. A tragic story.
Actually, I
Yes,
was hoping
tell me
you
what
could
it
tell
was.
me about the disease that took his daughter.
Forget about
A
HIPAA.
disease that would have attacked her face.
Well, to keep it short, we are speaking of syphilis, Mr. Holmes. You must certainly know that it is transmitted through intimate connections, and that the vast prostitute population here contributes to its inevitable progression. It destroys individuals by spreading through the body slowly. The most obvious symptoms can be found in the genitalia and on the face in the form of pustules or lesions. Sometimes this illness can destroy whole families. The father catches it from a prostitute, he transmits it to his wife, who in her turn passes it to the kids which she bears or nurses. These cases are numerous in the vicinity. Certain children, and this is the case of the little girl whom I won't name, suffer from an emaciation of the face which will, apart from predicting an imminent death, bring infamy upon the family.
Emaciation of the face?
Yes, what we sometimes call the pox. I will give you a photograph.
No, please don't.
One cannot be mistaken on the origin of such a face. The eyes seem to be void of
Cannot be
lids, the
mistaken.
nose is inexistent as if it was cut off, and the cheeks are chiselled as if cut with a knife. This loss
Definitely
of
what we
facial
saw
matter,
on
this emaciation, is in this area often the gift from a father to his children.
Can I keep this photograph?
I should destroy it, but if it can remind you that one must sometimes think twice before giving in to physical attraction.
I always seem to find myself alone in such cases. Thank you, Doctor.
What an admonition, Holmes. Look at that stare.
Let's go to the cobbler's.
Let's go to the cobblers. Excuse me, Mr. Solomonovich, what happened to your cousin?
Hello, Mr. Solomonovich.
Ah, Mr.
How
Holmes,
can you even say
how
that?
are things with you?
I heard your cousin Abraham had a problem with his shop. What
What
happened?
happened?
Ah, if I didn't know you well, I would tell you that it's Jewish business that doesn't concern anyone but the Jews.
That's good.
But as you have a little bit to do with it, you have the right to know what is going on.
Ah,
Glad
would
you
I
see me
have
that
something
way.
to do with it?
Honorary Jew,
Someone that's
me.
seen Abraham telling you something and making big gestures near the Imperial Club. A vicious rumor quickly spread, and it has caused him
Oh,
great
no.
injustice. A slanderous denunciation attracted the authorities' attention to my cousin's shop. Abraham must be in the process of answering their questions.
I did indeed.
I guess
speak
I'll go
with
see
your
them
cousin
then.
the other night. I'm shocked at the consequences of this discussion.
As I was saying,
Sure.
it's the story of the Jews. In the face of adversity,
What words?
we are united, but amongst ourselves, it's like anywhere else. As soon as our people take a dislike to someone, for right or wrong, we
The
can be
weird
without
physics.
pity and quite cruel.
Painted
This is all
weights.
very worrying. Your cousin knows one, or rather two, of the men who were at the Imperial Club on the night of the Mitre Square murder. One of the two, a butcher in Aldgate named Joseph, is probably withholding information of the utmost importance. I must find
Let's
this
find
man.
this man.
Perhaps you can help me.
But there are dozens of Jewish butchers around Aldgate, half of which must be called Joseph. And you know, Mr. Holmes, we Jews prefer
That
to remain in
is-
the background of this murderer business, this Jack the Ripper thing. All of London is pointing their fingers at us saying,
Why are there
"It's
so
a
many
Jew
butchers?"
who disemboweled these women. Our
I'll
community
excuse
is in
the
great peril, you know."
naming. That
That was the
makes a
business
lot of
with
sense.
Lipsky and Leather
But
Apron.
why are there so many
I will see
butchers?
what I can do, but I don't promise anything.
I'd be extremely grateful to you. Very well. We may meet again, Mr. Solomonovich.
You are most welcome, Mr. Holmes.
Most
I've paced
welcome.
up and down Whitechapel enough. I should return to Baker Street in order to reflect on the new facts that I have discovered.
New facts I have discovered. Why does M not take me to the map? You stabbed that right through your face there. What? advice.
Hello, Holmes.
Good day, Watson.
Listen, Holmes, I
Take
know
a
I
little
should
longer?
have got here sooner to give you a report on my research, but this case has led me to neglect my patients and my wife more than I care to admit. I've been able to sort things out over the last few days, and now I am ready to pursue this investigation.
Reminder that
You
this
don't have to
Watson doesn't
justify
actually live
yourself,
here.
Watson. Whilst
He
I
just
do
has rooms
tolerate
here.
you as an observer, and despite your occasional help with more menial tasks, may I remind you that you are by no means an indispensable part of this case.
Imagine having a home with a wife
You
and
tolerate
having
me as an
another
observer,
apartment with your
do
buddy
you?
somewhere.
Oh, you're too much, Holmes. Well, Mr. Detective, despite my absence, I have been working on this case, putting my relationship on the line in the process. And I happen to have a
very
confidential
true.
letter that only
That happens
passed
pretty
from
often.
one
She just
lord's
puts up
hand
with
to
you.
another. What it contains is extremely serious and concerns Dr. Tumblety and his collection of uteri.
Let me see that.
Mad at me. Let me see that. Lord, be hereby assured that my entire collaboration in the affair to which I must reply. No one will be able to cast, oh my goodness, these words, our institution or ourselves. Our eminent colleagues support our policies, and they won't cooperate with the police as long as the higher interests that we serve aren't menaced. As you mentioned, we must avoid having to explain the uncultured masses of exigencies of the medical research and a general crisis of the confidence that will result in the inevitable amalgamation of the process will hasten to create between this and the hideous murders committed in the East End. To this end, I tactfully evoked the rumor that you mentioned in your letter when I met my colleagues, that it turns out I have grounds, and these are the specifics that I was able to obtain. 18 months thence, an American doctor in London did in fact contact certain hospitals. His approach was aimed at getting stocks of feminine genitalia, particularly uteri. He was motivated initially by finalization of his research and its publication. The doctor in question wanted to include a uterus specimen freshly conserved in formalin with each of the research patients sent to each of his colleagues involved. A large quantity was thus necessary, and this doctor proposed to buy each of the uteri for 20 pounds. It's gotta be worth more than 20 pounds now. Hospital directors did not pay heed to these demands, and that I have been assured, between you and I, my lord, who knows what strange consequences would have followed these demands of the American doctor. The rumor of the unusual commissions made to the tour of the hospitals in question at the time of day has spread the others since. Simple day laborers employed by the organizations considered that the gain of 20 pounds could justify a theft, perhaps worse. The identity of the doctor is unknown to me, but based on the recall I have of my colleagues, this man had a most impressive references. After a bit of research, I didn't find that the existence of, I believe, any publication with any eventual correlation on this or the other side of the Atlantic. The man left London shortly after his page, it would seem. I cannot help but think he has perhaps returned to London and has found someone who might furnish him with what he's looking for.
Excellent. This American could turn out to be of great use to use.
That's right, and that's not all.
Wonderful.
I did some research and finally found an illness that affects the genitalia and can, in certain cases, cause facial symptoms resembling the mutilations seen on the last
syphy.
victim. It is called, would you believe?
Syphilis and the emaciation that can be seen in affected children. I have known that for days, Watson.
Really?
Listen, now you're already here, Watson. We may as well
Really?
continue the investigation.
Syphilis was
Do you
all
remember
over the
map
place in
on
this
which we
age and had been around
established
for
the
hundreds of
area in which
years.
our killer lives? I think we should continue our
You
study.
would think that people would know better than go messing around with prostitutes when there's syphilis about. Am I supposed to go? Do you remember the map on which we established the area of killer lives? I think we should continue our study.
Well, I discovered the case of another murder before that of Bucks Row. It happened in George Yard. We shall put it on the map in order to see if it corresponds to our area of research. We must place the murder of Martha Tabram in George Yard on the map.
Uh-oh.
That is where Martha Tabram's
We're 2
murder
blocks
took
away
place.
from the thing.
There's no point going there. I already have all the information we need on that matter. You see, this murder took place in the area in which our killer lives, his safe zone. Nonetheless, there are 2 major differences between the murder of this Martha Tabram and that of Polly Nichols. Firstly, the blows inflicted are not the same.
And the second difference?
It follows on from a doctor's opinion. He claims 2 weapons might have been used, and if there is one group of people we absolutely must not trust in this business, it's doctors. Don't you agree, Watson?
Watch it,
Holmes, I found that
Tabram's
insightful.
murder took place in an area where the murderer, whose cowardice is clear, was able to make a quick getaway, that is to say, near his home. For his second murder, he would have
It
wanted
seems
to go
ridiculous
further
to be nowhere
afield,
near
so
home.
the police would not link these 2 cases.
Why would you want to be
And as for the
near
other
home?
murders, seeing the ineffectiveness of
Get there
his
quickly.
last one, he
You're
headed
found
in
quickly.
different directions to kill his victims while still staying in the vicinity and without going any further than necessary, and all the while planning his escape.
Oh my.
My dear Watson, we now know what this man looks like,
That's
in what
necessary. You
area
could
he
have just-
lives, and that he suffered directly or indirectly from syphilis.
Oh, you're
Let's not
a
forget
terror.
the anatomical knowledge he must almost certainly possess. Given his lower class background, a butcher seems very likely. However, it may be the case that the man was a butcher once, but is no longer. He might also have been a medical assistant. Who knows? That's why we need the testimonies of the other Joseph and Dr. Tumblety in order to be certain.
What shall we do, Holmes?
As the police's cooperation is futile and can be ruled out, we have nothing to do but wait.
And them pigs
wait,
do nothing.
and hope we see one of these 2 men before the killer strikes again.
This is
At last, a
so
long
long
day's
ago.
work done. How you
so
doing, Holmes?
long ago.
Fine,
The
Watson,
cops are
just
still
fine.
useless.
I suppose you still haven't heard any news from Whitechapel.
No, Watson.
It's been almost a month now. Who knows? Our killer may have brought justice upon
Just
himself,
explains my
overcome by remorse and ignominy for his actions.
ignominy.
Not a chance, Watson.
You haven't done anything about the story of a kidney that was sent in the post and reported by the papers. Why not?
The killer left a message on one occasion with the intention of harming. The letter accompanying this package served no purpose other than to give value to its recipient and arouse disgust against its sender. The killer has never done anything for nothing. In order to authenticate the Galston Street message, he left an indisputable piece of evidence. Can we really say as much about this kidney?
I don't know. All I know is that there are letters piling up on your desk. Isn't it time to move on to another case?
Absolutely not, Watson. I think that the other Joseph is reluctant to meet me. The man he saw must certainly have put the fear of God in him. A man well known for his violence and his hatred towards Jews. There can't be any shortage of those in Whitechapel. I have hope yet. As for Dr. Tumblety...
We found him, Mr. Holmes. We found him.
Who's that?
Dr. Bumblebee. He's been locked
Dr.
up by the
Bumblebee.
bobbies, but they've let him loose. Oi, he was looking round like a rat who's scared of his own shadow. He's gonna do a run at years.
Watson, this is our chance. The game is afoot. Let's hope that Tumblety will go to collect his trunk. As for you, my little friends, thank you for lifting this burden that has been on my shoulders for almost a month.
Bunch of kids running around London and couldn't find a man for a month. Carries my way. So I need to go here. Here.
He is
And
here.
as
The
always.
doctor is here, up in his room. Peeking through my door, I saw him go up the stairs, and I think that he has a pistol.
Regarding the trunk, did you do what I told you to?
Yes, I jammed the lock and filled the trunk with stones. Should we call the police?
Absolutely not. Go home, lock your doors, and if you hear a gunshot, shout as loudly as you can. Watson, we must disarm
wonderful.
this man at all costs before attempting to confront him. Come, have your pistol at the ready and stay alert.
Watson's pretty much always the man with a pistol. Would you like some matches, sir?
Don't move a muscle or I shoot.
Who? But What is going on?
The 1880s, when you can just walk into a man's house and threaten him.
I ever said about your less than full involvement in our investigations.
And the cops might be okay with it.
Policeman, I already
Maybe they
told
were less
everything to
useful
your
to him.
colleagues at the station, so
Don't you believe it, sir? We're not
Colleagues
police.
at the
We are
station,
here to talk
so-
about human organs, an area in which you seem to have a great deal of interest.
what? But who are you?
We are the ones holding the pistol. Listen, Tumblety, tell us everything you know and you will be spared from
That
a noose
stance.
or a bullet. Have you tried to get hold of any female genitalia from someone during these past months?
So that's it. You English.
His mouth
As it happens, I do have a collection of female genital organs, which I hold dear,
Weird collection.
and never miss the chance to show my friends whatever the occasion. If you knew what I feel when my eyes meet the young men's as they contemplate with astonishment and disgust this soft and flabby skin that they worship and place at the
Ugh.
center of all their passions.
Yes, when you put it that way.
repulse me, gentlemen. They are one of nature's greatest mistakes. Lying, haughty, and most of all, nauseating. No, sirs.
Definitely have to put the gun here too.
Mankind.
We can see that
We are
Watson
not
is just
made
going to
soil
miss.
ourselves with such animals, and it is my task to educate my peers, like the
Watson.
ancient Greeks used to do.
Hey, trigger
and put them on
discipline.
the path to masculine relationships, the only kind
Hey, at
worthy
least
of
get
our
your sights trained on
intelligence.
the man.
My God, this man has lost his marbles, Holmes.
You haven't answered my question. Did you attempt to obtain any female organs?
Indeed, but a long time ago. I was living in Liverpool at the time.
Were you?
A few of my specimens were starting to lose their freshness. But despite the sum proposed, the heads of the university hospitals refused to accede to my demands.
Yeah, I bet.
The fear of what others would say, certainly. I know nothing more similar to an arrogant fowl than an English doctor. Yakety yak, always showing off in the courtyard with their haughty airs. And as soon as...
Shut it, Tumblety. So,
Shoot
was
him
it
already.
you
Why
who
not,
killed
right?
all of these women? Yes or no?
I regret to say that it was not. If I had really wanted a few more uteri, I would have had them brought in from the United States, where it would cost me much less than
Also
here.
says uteri.
Or I would have shown a few gold coins in the hallways of a morgue or a hospital in London, and they would have kissed my feet to sell them to me. And
That's
not
probably
taken the
unfortunately
least
true.
risk. But kidneys are all the latest, aren't they? I think that I could find one tomorrow for less than £1. In short, gentlemen,
These delays.
I do not know your killer, and I don't know why he's doing that. But if you come across him one day, please send him my friendship and my deepest respect.
You've
shoot
gone
him anyway.
too far this time.
Come, Watson, let's not get carried away now. Thank you for your assistance, Doctor. If I may offer some advice, you
This
should leave
animation is so
England as
bad.
soon as possible. Each day that you remain in this country is a risk that an intelligent man would not take.
My
He's
pistol?
obviously shown himself
Without
not
that,
an
it would
intelligent
be
man.
even more risky.
Can we believe this man, Holmes?
He can't be the murderer, and his story regarding the organs fits. But we can't afford to take the slightest risk. I will ask the Baker Street irregulars to follow him.
The following one. Are
Listen,
they gonna
lads,
follow
when
him?
Tumblety leaves here, follow him discreetly and come and tell me as early as possible tomorrow where he is currently residing. Understood?
Understood, Captain.
Understood, Cabin. You weren't
You
even
are
touching that
already
door,
ready,
Watson.
Holmes.
You
What is going
telekinetic.
on?
I have been
Especially
waiting for
there.
you for at least an hour, Watson. It would appear that a new drama has unfolded. The youngsters came to give me this address, but I have some doubt as to the actual location we are going to. Let's try anyway. At worst, we may come across the Baker Street irregulars to put us in the right direction.
In the right direction. Let's go. We're back here. Are a lot of locations for like how bad a lot of this game
We
is.
are lost, Holmes.
No, we're
Are
not,
we?
Watson. We are heading for the very street I'd hoped for, but as I wasn't sure it was this one, I've made a few big detours in order to find the right one. I'll know it when I see the name.
Why, of course, Holmes. Why didn't I think of that? The great Sherlock Holmes can't...
Finish the sentence? This boya.
How are you, my friend? Are you not feeling well?
No,
My friend is a doctor. He can take care of you.
don't go there.
Holmes, don't offer me.
He came here and he...
Now, Watson, take care of him.
Mm-hmm. I think this is the part that I seem to remember. We get a fresh body. Organs. Bloody marks on the pillow.
My God!
What happened?
Can't talk. Wait for the coppers. Are they coming? My eyes are crying.
No, you sir, you are crying, not your
no.
eyes.
Go find them too, mister. I'll stay here and keep an eye out. Go!
No, I must await my friend. Ah, here he is.
Watson, are you there? How are you?
Fine, Holmes, and you? What happened?
Hello, sir.
They've lost my memory of the past 20 minutes.
Where are we, Watson?
In Whitechapel, Holmes. This must be Dorset Street. You don't seem very well. Do you need something?
Indeed, Watson. Some clay, a great big piece of clay. I would ask for some wine, too, but as you know, I taste nothing but melodrama.
What is over there?
A trip from which you will never return, Watson. Trust me, don't go there.
A trip?
Murder.
Behind this door? In this room?
It's not strictly a door, it's more of a portal, a threshold, and what lies behind it is not the mortal realm, Watson. It is a place beyond time and space, the gift of a frantic artist who made use of his talent in order to grant us access to his world, Watson. Beyond that threshold is an abyss, hell. The police won't take long to arrive, and the last thing I want is to waste precious time on them. Could you lead me out of this area and take me home?
Become very useless lately. I'm at my way home. I can. Oh, I see. Yes, but I actually saw the body, so I'm just going to recreate it this way.
The joint has been cooked medium rare. If only you would tell me what was in the courtyard.
The answer, Watson.
The answer, Holmes?
Yes, the answer to a question that you asked me a few weeks ago.
And how the devil can the answer to a question I asked you be found in that courtyard? And what question are you referring to, Holmes?
How did you do that?
Set about reaching the height of horror by taking another victim, Watson.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Did I not tell you that I wanted to avoid melodrama?
Do you
Those
mean to
polys.
say that?
Yes, that's what was in that room. You helped towards the colour. All that's missing is the odour, but I shall let that pass. The mutilations almost all resulted in large removals of flesh. My photographic memory noted them all in great detail, the shape, size and location, and thanks to the softness of this clay and your medical knowledge, I believe we can attempt to determine what is missing from this lady.
Because you wanted
Don't
to
you
spare
think we should
Watson
wait
seeing
for
it.
the medical examiner's opinion?
Surely not, Watson. This massacre has gone on long enough. I can assure you that I will do everything in my power to get our hands on Jack the Ripper before this night is out.
This night is out.
Watson, we shall reconstruct the body of this poor woman
Wow.
and inspect it in
That is a
detail
lot
as
missing.
well. Your help as a medical man will be invaluable.
Holmes, I feel a bit unwell.
Well, I understand. I
have
will manage
to
on my
all
own.
the-
Her throat was slit just like the others. The wound is particularly deep.
The wound is particularly deep. Are you able to click on here? Kidneys, bodies. Yeah, I can't spacebar my way into it. See all the things here. Oh, I gotta. That's why. It is. Alright, going back over there. This.
There were incisions in the rib cage as if to inspect the lungs.
Spleen, stomach, intestine. Where did the? Oh, is it the
The
spleen?
liver was neatly removed.
Liver was neatly removed. Go in there too. It's not the heart. And the uterus.
An organ is missing, apparently. I must specify which organ this is on my list.
The heart.
There we
There
are,
we go.
Watson. We have examined everything. The heart is the only thing missing. 2 uteri, a kidney, and now a heart. He had all the time he wanted in which to disfigure her, cut her up like a piece of meat, and yet took nothing but the heart. What do you think of that, Watson? Watson?
Watson has fainted. Holmes, you were sick. These idle animations are just like non-committal movements. Make it look like he's looking at it. Right, this is too much. You did not need
to think how you'd react if you saw a corpse. I'm returning to Whitechapel, Watson, to Isaac's. If the heart tells you to come with me, if the heart tells you a little wordplay there. Let's go to the cobblers.
No, you could have done better. Such as, like, you know, I could hardly wait.
Let's go to
that
the
might have been
cobblers.
good.
Beep, beep.
Hi, enough with this guy.
Evening, Mr. Holmes.
I mean, seriously, they beep beep like he's trying to get my attention.
Solomonovich still not reopened his shop.
No, not that I know of.
Have you heard anything
Not
about
that
the
I
latest
know
murder?
of.
Certainly there is talk of nothing else. Poor girl. I hope they catch the bastard who did it.
Who do you think that could be?
A madman, that's for sure. Everyone in
Great.
the area is pinning it on a Jew. But I don't believe that for a second.
Why?
Because Jews don't like blood, you see. They're not
Don't like
allowed to
blood,
eat
you
it,
see.
and they have to drain the meat before cooking it. It's true that they eat
It seems like it'd be a
animals,
pain.
but they are fanatical about all kinds of silly things. I don't know much about their rituals and all, but I know that a Jewish butcher can't just do whatever he pleases with his knife. He has strict kosher rules to follow.
Yes, what if he has abandoned the rules?
seem to be
What
very
if he?
well informed.
What if he is an oathbreaker?
Well, I buy my meat from them too. My clients don't care whether the meat comes from Jews or not. Cats eat it regardless.
You specifically sell
Let me
meat
tell
for
you,
cats.
I'd go as
In
far
the
as to
1880s.
say that I may even have more faith in a Jew, because even if they don't eat all the offals, a Jew inspects them to see if the animal was in good health. Lungs, for the most part, and as they make up most of my cat's meat, you can see the connection, right?
Double checking that they're healthy.
Jews are allowed to eat offals?
Yes. They eat calves' kidneys, I think.
How big is that? A calf's kidney?
Ah, well, that depends if it's fresh or if it's been marinated in brine or cooked.
When fresh, are they as big as a human kidney?
They would be, yes.
You know,
Yes.
Mr. Hardyman, it's lucky for both of us that the murder that took place in your mother's courtyard was only the Whitechapel killer's third. Had it been the first, I wouldn't be thanking you, as I'm doing now, for all of this important information. Goodbye and take care.
If you say
well.
so. Right, farewell, Mr. Holmes.
Let's go to the cobbler's.
Let's go to the culprits. We were on our way there, and then you stopped off to talk to the guy that was going to be there when we got done here.
Good evening, Mr. Solomonovich.
Evening, Mr. Holmes.
You said that
If
differently.
you've come about the business with my cousin, I hate to say...
There's nothing new.
Before you respond to my request, I must ask you to answer this question of the utmost importance. What offals are Jews allowed to eat?
Well, the same as you.
Kidney, heart, liver?
Yes.
How are they prepared?
Kidneys are boiled, heart is often finely sliced and cooked on a skewer, and liver is always grilled.
These offals, do they come from cattle?
Yes, beef or veal.
And eating non-kosher food would be a grave affair for a Jew, isn't that right?
Yes, it would be very serious. But what are you getting at?
If I were to tell you what I'm thinking, Mr. Solomonovich, you would pull out your own eardrums to not hear the end of my sentence.
Being a dramatic,
it goes
Holmes.
against the beliefs of hundreds of members of your community, and for some, perhaps even worse. I will ask you one last time before involving the authorities, who I assure you will be far less discreet than myself. Do you know who the second Joseph is, the Aldgate butcher, who your cousin knows from the Imperial Club?
I must
His
know.
name is Joseph Hyam Levy, but I don't know where he lives. I know nothing about him, other than he's a member of the Imperial Club on Duke Street.
That street
That's
is
enough.
after
I'm going to go
Church
break in and get some
Passage,
records.
coming from
Bye.
Market Square. Am I right?
That's it.
Thank you. You have been an enormous help to both of us. Now, listen carefully. I need you to find 4 or 5 strong men among the members of your family who you trust wholeheartedly, and to wait here with them until my arrival, or you receive a message from me. Is that clear?
That is a
But if
big
you will
ask,
tell me-
Mr. Holmes.
Later, Mr. Solomonovich. Later. Let's go to the Imperial Club.
Go to the Imperial Club.
Ah,
Oh.
there's the Imperial Club. Let's see if
thank
I
you
can
for
find
teleporting
Joseph
me straight
Hyam
in.
Levy.
Sorry, go adjusting.
Hello, sir.
Hello, can I help you, sir?
Indeed, I have an urgent message from Mr. Joseph Levy, the Aldgate butcher.
I regret, sir, but Mr. Levy is not at the club at present. You can wait for him if you wish.
I thank you. Do you know where I can find him? His home address, perhaps? It is a very urgent matter.
I am sorry, sir, but we do not give out information regarding the club members to people outside the group.
They put a lot of marks on people's faces.
I must find a way to enter the Imperial Club without
Even
having to
that.
go through the entrance hall.
They did put some effort in there. You can kind of see some acne scarring or something, some pockmarking, remains of a mustache. It's a healing cold sore. Almost like they took this straight from the real person. Okay. 9 p.m. Informational meeting, naturalism, how to become a citizen of Her Majesty, the process of implications of the club members' actions. 10 p.m. open evening with musical accompaniment, classical traditional pieces, Mr. Bloom, piano, Mr. Schatz, violin. Administration will be closed all day. Okay, that's... How would they print that sort of detailing? Impossible, I tell you. Couldn't even do it today.
This may come in handy.
Don't mind me, I'm gonna take this
A
broken
note
hanger.
encouraging members of the Jewish community to remain prudent and vigilant after rumors about the Whitechapel murders.
Whitechapel murders weigh on our community heavily. Consequently, an exemplary conduct is shown by more than ever, as well as increased vigilance. Jews. Establishments such as synagogues, shops, and clubs are likely to become targets. All incidents must be stifled as much as possible. Probably shouldn't put anything down. The front door. Why can I leave out the front door? Let's go in.
Judging by the sound of voices and applause, there is a meeting going on at this very moment. I'll have to be very cautious.
Pardon me, sir, but the club is only open to members.
I must find a way to enter the Imperial Club without having to go through the entrance hall.
I am a member of society. Oh? Okay.
Coal. It's a service door and firmly locked. There must be a stockroom in the cellar beneath this room.
Yes,
There's a cellar window behind this barrel, which is preventing me from passing. If I can just get into the coal cellar, I shall be in the place.
Holmes, you mad lad. Hello. Okay. Oh, I can, crap. Nice. I can pick up that stuff. Cannot combine any of this garbage.
This barrel is on a wooden pallet, but it is too heavy to be moved. I will need
It's
a pivot.
too heavy to be moved.
There we are. My pivot is in place. Now, let's find something to tip over this barrel.
Would this maybe
Should
do
be
it?
able to make it.
Whoop. You looked like you struggled there. I'm glad you were able to do it.
Closed. The cellar window is locked from the inside by a simple iron hook.
Oh, I have
Let's
this.
go. Good. Let's try to find the exit that leads to the club.
There are things in here that look like I can steal them. I cannot.
This may come in handy.
Yeah, I'll have to keep that to myself.
Empty tin cans.
The tin cans. Alright, what's through here?
Closed.
Closed.
The kitchen. It's closed, and besides, I won't find what I'm looking for in there. Administration. Perfect. This must be where the information on club members is kept. Administration. Perfect. This must be where the information on club members is kept. Let's hope that it really is the key to this door. Administration. Perfect. This must be where the information on club members is kept.
Boy, how many times can I hear that? Yeah, no one will notice. That's fine.
Some square metal tokens.
Square
Curious.
metal
There's a
tokens.
document.
Oh my. So I wanted to let you know that your club needed kosher meat when you have special functions. I would be available to furnish it to you. Guaranteed to be by compliant abattoir. It will be well delivered directly to your society at the time that's convenient. Reasonable prices. Do not hesitate to call upon my services. Jacob Levy. Refused. On the advice of Joseph
There
Hyam
must have been
Levy.
litigation between Joseph Hyam Levy and Jacob Levy.
Levy.
This must be the club's safe. What I'm looking for is probably inside. I need
Probably
something.
inside.
This must be the club's safe. What I'm looking for is probably inside. The lock on this chest is very sophisticated.
Let's see. I don't know anything about Hebrew numbers. That symbol exists on this one. This symbol exists on this one. Symbol exists here on this left side. But there's no. This is gonna be a problem. Okay, so this one. Alright, let's just kind of pile stuff on and see if that can make a difference. Does not seem to make a difference. So if I put this here, okay. Need this symbol on top. Two of them. Try this one here. This one here. There is not. These two can only go in this configuration. That's fine. Put that like that. There's no the symbol on the right, so that has to be on. Assuming these have to match.
No, that's not it.
No, that's not it. Yeah, symbol doesn't exist in any other fashion, so it must be a thing. This symbol does exist on this one. Symbols. This exists like this. That looks pretty solid. Devils there are. It's so close. It's so close, but so far. But what if that does not exist on the bottom of any tile? I feel like that does have to go at the top. This does not exist. This exists on the right side of this tile. So that's a possibility. Is there... These symbols will match up. So technically that's fine. Boom, boom. Does this exist on the right side of any tile? Just this one. Ooh. Nope. I can't do that. Is this on the left side of any tile? This does not exist on any other tile. This being up here seems pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. Okay. I'm still stuck with that. There's no P's on any bottoms. It needs to go. But none of them match that. So what has that cross shape inside? It's this. It's just that. Because nothing has this symbol on bottom or that symbol on bottom. This is almost accurate. There's something with that symbol on the right. This. The only thing with that symbol on the right. Cross on the right. There's a cross on the right. It doesn't have the symbol on the bottom. This has that. And this symbol doesn't exist on the bottom of anything. It exists on the bottom of this one. No. No, it does not. If I did that left, symbol being on top, which is like that. But then that's impossible to match up. Unless but no. There's nothing. Those match up. Those do not match up. Doing that, then that doesn't match up. Go there is there. Those match up. That's like that. Double goes there. Then we're stuck with that issue of that. Simple except this one. We're in this proximity. Don't even know if I'm close. Matches. Stuck with this issue of being a double on topic. These don't match anyway. Something with that symbol on the right side, which doesn't exist. Left. Ugh. Why does it insist on doing this? You really do want it to be that way, don't it? Right, how do those? Become irrelevant in a different. Does this stay on top? Get up to something with a double. Those line up. The symbol on the bottom of with that piece of this symbol. So on this. Yeah, that looks right. Right.
Elementary.
Heyo. Alright, look at me pretending to be good at stuff. Need something? What do you need?
I need something. A page from an old Yiddish English dictionary. Court's proceedings. Curious.
Proceedings. Curious. Wiki baby. New court Tuesday, April 6, 1886. I actually have to like read this and figure it out.
I need something.
Reading.
These documents contain some words in Yiddish, which reads from right to left.
Oh, this thing again. We know that from Kabbalah, the power of dementia. Blessed, because 439 is also, I don't know that. Means the man of God. Dear Joseph, I did the counting of the names of club members, which are as follows. Mr. Bath is 403. Elf of 2 1. I see, I get that. Mr. Hammer is 356. 5 1 40 40 70 200. Average rating. Sincerely yours. Yes, please to Mr. Miracle. that provided his name is spelled as blah blah. He is 346. Your bath, Mr. Hammer. Mr. We're looking for Levy. L. Oh. Guessing that's E then. Context clues. Oh, which would mean that L is this. And that is incorrect apparently. Morel. Provided that his name is yes. All over the place on these. What symbols are recognized? And that's not a U. Apparently not a U. The E back. L. 1. A. Two. That's B. That is. These are so blurry that it's hard to tell. It's either 8 or 100. It looks like 8. On my explanations over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And that is 6. Oh. E. Why is it so blurry? And there's no example. 9, 3, 6. That's because of the this and this. I mean, if only so many letters, I can just completely and totally buff my way through it. So 40. He was worth a shot. There's no real correlation between these. The long top, and that's 200. Hey. 90? No, 70. Fresh. 70. Would they be represented over here then? Where I only have single letters. Mem, which is 40. Being this, so that's M. E-A-T-H. PH being 400 isn't there. I'm tricked by my own ad. I thought someone was typing in chat. Please assist me. You know Yiddish. I could use the assist. There's 2 letters left that I need, and I've got 5, 6. I've got 20 letters left. I can just kind of like bluff with. Oh, this one is 6. There's none of them. This one is 40, which is nothing I do and don't have example. Alright, well, I'm down to 19 left. No, it's not 40. $439. Not this in it. Yes. T. No. L-E-R. So what was R? Stands. Listen. Which was 30. 1. 6. That one, 400. And it looks like 2. Just gonna brute force it. Care at this point. What are you? Come on.
Excellent. Now on to the next.
Joseph. Born in Aldgate, 1841. Chip, 1887. He's only been a member for like a year. 36 Middlesex Street. Self-employed butcher. Hutchinson Street, Aldgate. Dues. Due owns.
Here we are. I have the address of this Joseph Chaim Levy, 36 Middlesex Street. Now, let's try to get out of here without being seen.
I just leave. I should just be able to bounce. What are they gonna do? Stop me? You were in the club when you weren't supposed to be.
Blast! My exit has been sealed off. The barrel was replaced. I'll have to find another way.
What was out there? Got some rope.
I can't get out through the window. It's blocked and appears to be reinforced. I'll have to find another way out.
Oh man, there's some stuff.
I need something.
Need some.
The kitchen. It's closed, and besides, I won't find what I'm looking for in there.
Whee!
This may come in handy.
There's a...
No, that's not a good idea. The watchman is still there. I must find a way to get into
celebrating.
his post.
Alright. Those do not combine. Those do combine. Those do not combine. Oh.
I need something.
Need something. Huh.
I need something. I need something.
What else is around?
Closed.
Oh. Come on, open the door. Yes. I see. I get it. A little.
I need something.
All right.
I need something. I need something.
Nope.
I need something.
Nope.
I need something.
Nope.
Closed.
Closed. Oh. Excuse me.
No, that's not a good idea. The watchman is still there. I must find a way to get him to leave his post.
Get him to leave his post.
I can't get out through the window. It's blocked and appears to be reinforced. I'll have to find another way out.
There's nothing else to... The drawer looks all shiny. Why are you inoperable? Picked up pretty much everything.
No, that's not such a good idea. There's a meeting taking place.
Nothing else I can pick up. Nothing. I'm beyond lost.
I need something.
I need something. I need something. Man, I can't take that bucket. I was wondering about that earlier.
I need something.
I need something. I need something.
I need something. I need something.
Ah. Ooh. There.
Now let's quickly hide in administration.
Doop, 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 doop. Surely he'll never look in here. I mean, lucky me that doesn't burn the place down. Why did he close the door? Didn't do anything.
Let's visit Joseph Levy at 36 Middlesex Street.
Well, that seems like a good place to go ahead and end it. I was kind of hoping I could finish up tonight, but apparently that's not true. Oh, hey, it's right in the
Here
middle
I
of the
am
safe
in
area.
Middlesex Street. Let's find number 36.
Oh, that was easy. Dun, 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 dun.
Hello, sir. What do you want?
Hello, Ma'am. I would like to speak with Mr. Levy. Do you know if he's in?
I am Mrs. Levy, his wife. He's not arrived yet.
Do you know when he'll be in?
Oh, no idea. You know, he works at the butcher's and helps at the slaughterhouse. It often happens that he
That's
doesn't
great.
come in until early morning and then leaves right away.
Well, listen. As soon as your husband Joseph returns, tell him that
My husband isn't called Joseph.
you aren't the wife of Joseph Hyam Levy.
No, of course not. I'm the wife of Jacob Levy. Mr. Hyam Levy used to live here with his parents, but he moved.
Mhm.
Mommy, who's the man that you are talking to?
Whoa, what is that kid's face?
But this poor child has syphilis. He carries the mark on his face.
Leave us, children. Go back inside with your brothers and sisters.
Yes, Mother.
Oh, okay.
As I was
Making fun of a
saying,
syphilitic kid.
Mr. Hyam Levy doesn't live here. He works in a butcher's near Aldgate, but I don't know exactly where. But if you find him, he will surely live next door. Butchers always live near their work.
Which
Could
is
you
always
possibly give him a
the-
message on my behalf?
I don't see him often, and, well, even though we know him, we aren't on friendly terms, you see?
Is he bothering you, Mommy?
No, Simon, not at all.
That's a handsome boy you have. It's strange that he has light hair.
He takes after his father. Strong, with light hair.
Wait, he sounds familiar to me. A man of about 50 years old, very big, at least 6 feet tall, and left-handed, correct?
You are mistaken yet again. My husband is only 32 years old, no taller than 5'3", and he's right-handed.
Obviously, there are many Levies in the area. I will leave you, and I pray that you'll
So
excuse
the trick there
disturbance.
is that
Perhaps we
people
have
will
the pleasure
very
of meeting
quickly
again.
contradict you.
Farewell, Mom.
Goodbye, sir.
They are happy to correct you. If you ask them questions, they won't tell you nothing. Yep, that looks like him.
Daddy!
I must return to Baker Street.
Must return
Let's
to
go
Baker Street.
Baker Street.
Why did you not just take me there? Why'd you even open the map for me?
Well, Watson, not looking so good.
Whose fault is that, Holmes? If you hadn't shown me your masterpiece in clay.
Some
been
actions have
busy
much
today.
larger repercussions than would be assumed at first glance. Listen, Watson, in a few minutes I will leave Baker Street in order to meet Jack the Ripper and put an end to his crimes. Beforehand, I want to go over all our discoveries to assure myself that everything is clear.
Jack the Ripper? You know the identity of Jack the Ripper?
Without a shadow of a doubt, Watson, and I assure you that we are in possession of all the elements required to determine who Jack the Ripper is. Would you like to do this work with me?
Why, of course. And this is where my game
we are
froze
still
up last
missing
time.
certain information in order to finish this investigation, Watson.
Oh my. MJ Kelly had her throat slit the same way as the other victims. Just about, yeah. Accomplished, could not have committed these crimes, and definitely killed them all. Anatomy. Is or was a butcher. So, organs were detached, lungs were subject to incisions, C. Edo's liver, incisions. Hesitated, the organs were removed, wanted to verify the health of the victims, kept going at its health. Heart was removed the same way as the other murders. Chapman's uterus was removed and taken. Edo's kidney and uterus were deformity, his organs when he could. Lost the organs of some of his victims when he examined them. No? That's great. Wounds on C. Edo's neck reveal that the murderer is right-handed. And MJ Kelly was disfigured. He gives the last victims the appearance of syphilis. Wants to compare him to a terminal illness. Seems to like he suffers. He's confronted with
Perfect,
syphilis.
Watson. Let's determine who
Watson.
Jack the Ripper is, Watson. Thus, we have 5 suspects. Let's add the elements that correspond to each of them.
Correspond to each of them. There is or was a butcher. Jacob. These things. They all apply to this guy. Score to settle with the Jewish community. The right-handed is out because everybody has it. 5 for 3. Oh. No, that all goes there. Color hair and mustache. Okay, let's go this way. What else is up here? It's just going through all of them again. Confronted with syphilis. You are also confronted with syphilis. Maybe? No. He was not. And no. Light-colored hair. For you? No. You? No. Literally just Louis. Okay, hold on. You got the whole deal. I put 3. Can't tell because it didn't tell me about any of these people. Lives in Aldgate. No? Stefanovic? Sickert? Holy? No. Workman's clothes. Sickert. Great physical force. You apparently? Yeah, you. What about the cobbler? Or to settle with the Jews. No, you did not. No, you did not. No, you did not. You are Jewish. But apparently they're after you. His one was a butcher. Sticker? No. You're a doctor. He's poor. You have money. You offered it up to a lot of people. Poor as heck. Face the job. Face the Ripper on the mannequin. I did it.
And there you go, Watson. Jacob Levy, Jack the Ripper.
Fantastic, Holmes. And terrifying. But some aspects of this case are still unclear, at least for me.
For example, Watson?
For example?
Why does the man only kill prostitutes?
The man kills prostitutes because he blames them for the misery of his life. He must have frequented them assiduously, and during these nocturnal visits, he contracted syphilis, which he passed on to his spouse, and via her, at least one of his children. He is an angry man in despair following a mistake that cannot be fixed.
Why does he only kill such miserable prostitutes?
He never had the means to afford prostitutes of higher standing than Nichols, Chapman, and the others. At one point in his life, he was forced to steal to make ends meet. This indiscretion cost him dearly. He was imprisoned and exiled from his community. He had frequented low-class prostitutes, thus it was they who infected him, and they who must pay.
There was one particular prostitute he did not go
Why
for.
did he remove the organs?
To take vengeance on his own community, which rejected him and had more success than he. He is a man who bore the burden of a sinister reputation, that of a thief and a madman, because of his internment. So he took his vengeance in the most cowardly and horrific manner imaginable. He rubbed his knife on the uterus of a sick prostitute before using it. He passed Edow's kidney off as a veal kidney.
Why did he disfigure the faces of the last 2 victims?
Revenge yet again, Watson. This is what you did to my child. You will suffer the same fate.
And the piece of apron and the message at Goulston Street?
The only reason to have placed the piece of apron incriminating the message and attracting attention towards himself is that the people that Levy holds responsible for his arrest live in this building. The butcher's where he committed the theft is found in Goulston Street, and the majority of the butchers who denounced him surely live close to their workplaces.
The lip syncing still gets me.
Why didn't his wife or anyone else notice anything?
His wife has many children and must be very busy. The man is a butcher, which must facilitate things when one is questioned by the police in the street and must justify the bloodstains on oneself. Furthermore, butchers often work during the night as the meat must be sold fresh each morning. His nocturnal absences were easily justifiable. Finally, he works in a butcher's or slaughterhouses. Nothing could be more simple than slipping a kidney in here and using a knife soiled with human blood there.
This story is frightful, Holmes.
Indeed, Watson. Lies, infidelity, venereal disease, murder, mutilation, and finally
why did you have to
cannibalism.
emphasize that
a
one?
complete anthology of what humans at their most vile are capable.
Let's
Humans
go
just
at once to
are vile, let's be
Whitechapel
real.
and put this madman where he can do no more harm, Holmes.
Let's, Watson.
Old D. Eilish Rob. Oh, look around.
I do
36.
believe
Hey,
we are
here we
not
are.
alone. I hope these men won't prevent us from passing.
Oh no, I called them.
No, but you, yes, Watson. Your journey ends here tonight.
Pardon?
You're sometimes a little hot-headed. Moreover, Mr. Solomonovich has a few things to tell you. I won't be long.
It won't be long. I mean, that all kind of adds up. Who knows?
He's waiting for you inside. Everything was organized according to your instructions. I don't know how to thank you.
Later.
Hey, it's the guy who saw me
Dr.
earlier.
Watson is awaiting an explanation from you.
Why is it specifically... Okay, there's another one there. What a room. There's a room like this in their house. You confront this cold-blooded killer and just expect to not have anything bad happen. Seems not happy with the solution. Alright. Showing exactly how he did it. Is that him actually like showing or just doesn't? This is quite weird. Quite weird. Some of those weird parts too, where it just stops. Things are held awkwardly. The models are very aged. The mimery. This is him writing the thing with the Jews. Oh man, the mesh in his hand, the clipping errors. Final victim? And yeah, that they're really struggling. Like they got the feet down close, but with the hands, it's like they're just not putting them close enough to the floor. Rubbing my face and ears. Yeah, with some of those, it was like the height one was the toughest. I know that Holmes is fairly tall. He towers over most characters, but then getting into all that, like, how am I supposed to tell which ones are 5'3" and which ones aren't? Because Watson had to aim up at Dumbledore. They give these little clues throughout the rest of the game. I do not serve justice. I serve the truth.
Hello, Watson.
Holmes, have you the slightest idea what you're doing?
I think so, Watson.
Leaving this bloodthirsty pervert at liberty and hiding his existence from the London police? What folly!
Certainly,
so mad.
the police will never find their man, but with so many men deployed, this affair will indirectly have a benevolent effect on the crime in the vicinity.
But Holmes, wait! Justice hasn't been served, and we are accomplices to the fact.
Justice? But I don't serve justice, Watson. I serve truth. And incidentally, I serve my country, and I don't think that I have ever served it better than today. Imagine if after months of terror and a murder as abominable as that of Miller's Court, we deliver to the English people a man of the Jewish faith, a journeyman and head of family as the guilty party. A man who forced members of his own people
still haven't cleaned
to
that
eat
up over there
human flesh.
either.
All of this contained tension would have exploded in a myriad of anti-Semitic acts which would have thrown Whitechapel into a rage of fire and blood. And this man's family, who are completely innocent and have suffered more than their lot, would have been the first in the line of sight. Should we condemn an entire people to shame and promise them 1,000 wounds because one of their members committed an unmentionable crime? Neither I nor you have the right to do so. Jacob Levy, Jack the Ripper, is now in the hands of his own people. I have complete faith in Mr. Solomovich and the members of his community who, I remind you, courageously helped us. They took great risks and acted with the most salutary discretion.
Just because you're faithless, you end up cursing your children or something.
It would be best to invent a story that takes us far from London during the somber period, in pursuit of, let's see, something challenging. A ghostly dog that glows in the night.
All the Hounds of the Baskervilles.
Don't be ridiculous, Holmes. But what will happen now? The police will endure a
Also
serious
the
setback
Hounds
and
of
a
the
real loss
Baskervilles
of credibility.
was pretty much all Watson. Holmes spent all of that in London itself.
Well, a few months after the murders have ceased, the police commission, finding themselves at an impasse, will come up with a story to tell, and everyone will vow that they know the secret identity of the killer without having the right to reveal it. As for Jacob Levy, Jack the Ripper, he will be imprisoned by his own people. He will pace like a lion in its cage until the end of his days, haunted by his crimes and his insatiable vengeance.
Seriously?
Until finally the disease which drove him to kill those poor women will finish its work and make him its final victim.
Like, seriously, how? That part I don't think can really be concerned. They really don't. Unless you have better knowledge than I do. Like, who knows? Yippee! Yeah! Alright, so that concludes Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper. It had its struggles. The next one is actually Sherlock Holmes and the Awakened, which is a Cthulhu title. So that's fun. Gonna do some Sherlock Holmes and in some Cthulhu. A lot of Alexis here. Holy cow. Alexandria, Alexi. I took up like a lot of the opening credits on this one. Good job, Frogwares. It was a lot of fun solving all those puzzles, and I definitely look forward to seeing what is in the next ones that I have never played before. This is the only one in the series that I have previously had encounter with. Except for Mystery Mummy, which I cannot actually get to work. Because adapting that for newer machines is a nightmare. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been wonderful having you around here. Do come back for Neo tomorrow, and I'll be working on a Perler stream on Friday and Thursday. All streams Monday through Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Central. Except sometimes I have collabs. There should be a Dead by Daylight collab coming up, which I think will start at 8 like usual. Same group that we did Devour with. That'll be great, great, great fun. Do tune in and watch us, I don't know, freak out and run in circles. But hey, until next time, the world is very lucky to have you, and so am I. And may the power protect you.